Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a book review for Killer Chardonnay by Kate Lansing. So this is a cozy mystery that comes out on May 26th. And a cozy mystery, if you don't know, is a really fun mystery with no gratuitous sex, violence, or cursing. And they're usually themed like in a bookstore or based around food or knitting or things like that. And they're just really lighter, but they're always a good time. And usually they involve the protagonist finding a dead body and getting into the investigation to figure out who killed that person. This is Kate Lansing's first book, I believe. And I was lucky enough to get an e-arc from NetGalley, so thank you very much. And this follows the story of Parker Valentine, who has opened her own winery called Vino Valentine. And on opening day, things are going great until a husband and wife get into a really loud fight right as a really important critic comes in. And this critic is known to be a sourpuss and for giving horrible reviews and being overly harsh on restaurants and wineries. She knows that a negative review can heavily impact her new business, and she is just really stressed and wants that positive review. Parker gives this reviewer her Chardonnay, which she's super proud of, and he doesn't really seem to like it, and then all of a sudden he rushes to the bathroom and ends up dying. And she discovers the body shortly after he drank her Chardonnay. And so she wakes up to find that hashtag Killer Chardonnay is trending and her business is starting to suffer. So she gets involved to save her reputation, catch a killer, and find out what really happened. She just needs proof. And I really enjoyed this. I've only read one other cozy mystery dealing with wine, but that was on a vineyard. I've never read a cozy mystery series based in a winery. And we actually have a local winery here in Northwest Arkansas that I adore. And so this really reminded me of that place. And so I just kind of envisioned the same atmosphere, even though hers is larger and a little bit more funky. I really liked Parker as a protagonist. She was very level-headed and reacted appropriately to the things that were going on. Sometimes in cozy mysteries, the writing can get a little cheesy, or you think, oh, people would never really do that in real life. But this one didn't do that, and I really appreciated that. It was very realistic, and she didn't all of a sudden have an in with the detective. Even though they knew each other from high school, he refused to let her get involved, and she just went rogue and tried to solve the mystery on her own. And I also loved the family dynamics in this book. She has kind of a strained relationship with her parents. She feels like their focus is on her brother, who's kind of a screw-up and hops around from job to job and hobby to hobby. And his parents just focus on him because he's always in need, and Parker has always been more independent. And as the murder mystery progresses, her family gets drawn in, and Parker and her brother Liam become closer, as now Liam's reputation and his livelihood is on the line as well. Really enjoyed that brother-sister dynamic. They were already friends, but now they're best friends. And there's also one of Liam's friends named Reed, and he is a chef at a local restaurant, and he's really swoony. And I really liked him. He just oozes sex appeal, and he's one of those like smooth talkers and really charming, and you just can't help fall for him, but you don't really get those creepy vibes, like somebody's a little too slick. He was just the right amount of charming. Near the end of the book, you kind of got a sense that there's going to be a love triangle. I don't know how that's going to go in book 2, but this particular love triangle I don't think would bother me. But overall, I really liked this. I did not figure out who the killer was until it actually happened in the book. I had some guesses, but it never clicked that it was this person. And I thought the ending, like the stereotypical cozy mystery format, is either the protagonist figures out who did it and then gets trapped in a situation with the murderer, or the protagonist doesn't know who did it until they get trapped with the murderer. And that's how it went with this one. And I really like how it played out. She wasn't the stereotypical, oh my god, I'm trapped, I have to rely on the men to get me out kind of character, which is what really made me love this book so much. I also really liked her friendship with her best friend Sage, and how that was explored in this book too. Overall, I thought this was a really well done cozy mystery. It wasn't overly cheesy, it wasn't overly punny, and it had realistic family and friend dynamics and a realistic murder investigation, which with cozy mysteries you do sometimes have to suspend your belief a little bit, because that's how the protagonist gets involved in the investigation, which you know really wouldn't happen that often in real life, but that's part of the fun. So I thought this was really well done. I gave this book 4 stars. I read it in one sitting. I was that engrossed in the book, and I'm really excited to see the next book in the series. I highly recommend you check it out, especially if you love cozy mysteries. I think you're gonna love it. So, as always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.